Stevenson, coach for the Perth Wheelcats, Michelle and team manager Joe Stevenson. And for your Victoria Wonders, number 1, Kate Sheen, number 5, Harriet Caldwell, number 8, Lauren Sell, number 9, Leanne Pozo, number 11, Kim Hampton, number 12, Zoe Matheson, 22, Isabel Martin, 25, Savage Staffy Wall, 29, Sammy Roll, 32, Sarah White, and 37, Mel Adams. Coach is Jeremy Sinnott. Assistant coaches Jules Orr and Lauren Robertson, and team managers Darcy Caldwell and Indy Orr. For those that are able, could you please be upstanding for the national anthem? Thank you, everybody. 5 minutes to go till tip-off.
I've lost my assistant, I know where she is. Okay.
Good evening and welcome to Game 1 of this round in the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League. This clash between the host Victoria Wonders and the visiting Perth Wheelcats. My name is Campbell Fraser, and joining me shortly will be my co-commentator Brendan Parnell. This is a very important game hosted out of Victoria at the State Basketball Centre. For both teams having the opportunity to get into the second position on the ladder, which will lead them into the finals, having the opportunity, if they lose their first final, to get that all-important second chance and remain in the running for the gold medal. A couple key missing factors on the side of the Wonders. Well, one key missing factor, Laura Davoli having gone over to the US to play in the college system. Which will be a massive, not necessarily loss, but something that the Victoria Wonders will have to cover her value on the court. She's a very strong shooter, very valuable to the team, also very key in the way that the Wonder have played their previous games. They run a very, very specific kind of play that relies on Davoli, so it will be important to see how they can recover from that loss and see how other players can come up. And looking at Harriet Caldwell and a couple other players to see how they can come in against the really strong side of the Perth Wheelcats. Players like Amber Merritt, Georgia Inglis, Ebony Stevenson, really, really valuable Paralympic level players on the side of the Wheelcats, and it will be a challenge for the Wonders to control that kind of skill. As we see teams coming out just now. The Wheelcats already looking prepared. With on court Georgia Inglis, Sarah Vinci, Laura Gillies, Ebony Stevenson. And as we see the Wonders coming out, Leanne Del Toso, Harriet Caldwell, Shelley Matheson, Kim Hampton, and we'll just see who the last one is, Isabel Martin, who will also be going to the US college system in just about a week. I think she leaves even potentially at the end of this weekend, so good luck to her, and really important to see that she's sticking around just to see that she can get her team to stay in that second position on the ladder. As we will just tip off in a second. And we're away. Wheelcats coming away with it. They look to push forward already. Strong defense from the Wonders, kind of trying to control that ball. Inglis looking at her options. Shot goes up for the Wheelcats. And it's good. Quick 2 points for the Wheelcats. Wonders looking at how they can push the ball forward. Hampton trying to control it. Finds Matheson. Gets it forward to Isabel Martin. Tries to recover it. She will. Looks to reset. Finds Matheson. She'll look over. Find Del Toso. She'll take the long two. She's good. Quick response from the Wonders.
Let's get organised here.
Again, the Wheelcats will come up. Georgia Inglis controlling. Looks at her options, tries to look inside, won't find it. Harriet Caldwell finds the coverage. Wonders really trying to find a way to get the ball over this time. Turnover. Wheelcats will recover it. And the steal back from the Wonders. Caldwell recovers it. Doesn't have too many options here. Wheelcats' defense being really strong here. Looks inside, finds Kim Hampton. Shot won't go that time. Recovered by Caldwell. Matheson at the free throw. Won't go. Again recovered by the Wonders. Finds Caldwell. She'll think. Doesn't have too long. Matheson. Thinking about her options. Takes a shot. Won't roll. Again recovered by the Wonders. A little tap away and it will remain Wonders' ball. Wheelcats not being able to get those defensive rebounds. The Wonder being a little bit lucky that they're managing to get all those rebounds, kind of recovering. But they've got to find a way to get those scores. Del Toso thinking. 3 seconds. And no player can remain within the key on the offensive side for more than 3 seconds. And it will be Wheelcats ball. Inglis coming with it again. Looks inside. Ebony won't go. Wonders look to push it. Matheson tries to look forward. Finds Colwell. 2-on-1 here. Kim Hampton. Shot just bounces away. Wheelcats come away with it. Vinci trying to look forward, looking at her options. Doesn't have too many. Inglis kicks it across. And the foul. Natalie Alexander taking that shot. Comes away with the foul. We'll go to the line for 2. Defense very strong on the side of the Wonders, but really just not being able to cover that defense quite enough. We'll send Wheelcats to the line. First one's good. And second one's good too. Clean shots. Matheson looking for the inbound, finds Saltoso, but very strong pressure coming from the Wheelcats, playing a man-on-man press. Matheson coming away with it quickly, looking to break down that press, looks for a shot. Easy roll. And that will even up the score. Again, Inglis bringing the ball down. Tries to find Ebony Stevenson inside, won't find it. Shot goes up, and it's good. Ebony Stevenson coming away with those points again. She's a valuable inside player. She's not too high point of a player, but she has a look. Matheson thinking about her options. Kim Hampton again. Won't find that shot. Just not quite finding her range yet. Matheson controlling. Doesn't have too long. Del Toso on the side. Looking inside. Isabel Martin. And it's good. Very hard shot to make there. Kind of leaning back almost out of her chair, but manages to find her line and finds 2 points. 6. Inglis again. And there will be an offensive foul. Ebony Stevenson trying to push through the defense, just couldn't quite find the line. And it will go back to the Wonders. Matheson just communicating to her team, trying to find a way to break this press. It's a difficult thing not having Laura DeVoli at their disposal. The Wonders just lacking a little bit of speed and needing to find a different way to get across and get the ball across the court. Matheson inbounds, find Hampton. Matheson pushing fast. Finds Hampton again, and there she is. Found her range, and that's a dangerous position to be in. She's been left alone that many times. Now she's hitting those shots. Laura Gillies. Back to Vinci. Vinci lines up. Won't go this time. She'll get her own rebound. Vinci inside. Can't quite find that. Too far under the basket. Matheson will recover. Matheson looking at her options. Caldwell can't quite control it. There'll be substitution on the side of the Wheelcats. Amber Merritt checking into the game. And this will be a valuable swap for the Wheelcats. Amber Merritt, a very strong shooter and a very strong defensive player as well, all at that height. And the Wonders not really having a player that can quite contest that height. And here we see Amber Merritt can't quite make that, gets her own rebound, and gets 2 points immediately. And that's what you want to see from a substitution like that, immediately getting those points, putting value on the court. Matheson will push for the Wonders. Matheson thinking about her options, finds Del Toso. Thinks to swing it. Looks inside, finds Hampton. And it's good. Again, Hampton being left alone a little bit too much and finding those valuable points.
Just 2 points in it here. We tick past the 5-minute mark, first quarter. That shot from Merritt's short. She's scrambling, trying to get hold of the rebound. No luck. Matheson away. Kicks ahead, ball in dispute. The officials have determined that the shot clock hadn't run for a couple of seconds. Hard to tell whose ball it would have been there, but it's going to stay with the Wonders.
I think that's a valuable little call for the Wonders, just to be able to reset, get their offense kind of in position. We know that they like to run more set plays. They don't like that scrappy play as much. So
that was certainly out of control, that sequence, up until then. Del Toso probes down the right. Looks at the shot. It's short. Wheelcats off and rolling. Vinci gets it away to Inglis. There's some contact, and the basket's good. Amber Merritt as effusive as ever. Made that basket. Has an opportunity now for the bonus free throw. That's short. Matheson swoops in for the rebound. Finds Del Toso. Scores all tied at 10. 3.5 minutes remaining, first quarter of this final round clash from the State Basketball Centre in Melbourne. Pass from Del Toso deflected away, and it will be a turnover.
We've seen a couple turnovers already from the Wonders. Just that little bit of communication lacking. I think that again is that value of Laura Devoli not being here and not kind of shoring up that defense, having to rely on a few players that the Wonders aren't used to relying on quite as much and quite as early in the game. So it'll be interesting to see if the Wheelcats can capitalize on that loss.
Yeah, Coach Sinnott calling a timeout now. He'd be relatively happy, Campbell, wouldn't he, with what's happened thus far?
Oh yeah, I'd be happy on the side of the Wonders. Obviously, they know that they're losing out a little bit with Devoli not being here, but they do know that they have a very deep bench. The Wheelcats not quite having the depth, and also just not having as many players. They have to travel obviously from Perth, so that's a difficult thing to send players all the way over here. So they're running a shorter lineup, so they've got to rely on who they can.
And this being the last round before the finals, we've got a 2-week break where the Australian men's team will be overseas. The playoff situation, Perth sitting on 7 wins and 5 losses before tonight. The Wonders on 8 and 4, and the chance for that double chance in the finals, the opportunity to finish second and give themselves a second bite at the cherry, so to speak.
Yeah, I think you can see that in the way both of these teams are playing already. Both teams have tried a bit of a press at times, giving all of their energy and really trying to shore up their wins before finals.
There's Georgia Inglis, smiling as ever, probes down the left-hand side, finds Merritt in the middle of the key. Her shot's good.
It's an unfortunate thing to leave Isabel Martin, a one point player, on someone like Amber Merritt. She's so tall. Isabel Martin had no chance to defend that, and that might be kind of emblematic of what the Wonders might be looking for later on in this game, or might not be looking for, having those bad mismatches.
Yeah, I don't think that was deliberate. Just got a cross match in transition, which wasn't favourable. It's Matheson down the left-hand side, closely guarded by Inglis. Uses the screen. Merritt pops out. Ball gets over the top. Another wayward shot from the Wonders. Inglis with the rebound. Pushing down the right-hand side of the floor. Gets a screen and makes the layup. Would you describe that as a screen, Campbell?
Well, whether it was a screen or just forward thinking to kind of use your teammates where they're going to line up, I think that's exactly what the Wheelcats are going to look for. They know how much intelligence they have on the court. They know how much experience they have, so they've got to rely on that.
Just ball back with Matheson. She goes glass. Cuts the margin back to 2. The Victoria Wonders 12. The Wheelcats from Perth 14. Inglis finding another lane down the middle of the key. Kicks the pass off. That shot's off from Vinci. But an offensive rebound. And Ebony Stevenson with the putback.
Again, Ebony Stevenson, she's only a three-point player, but she sits quite high, able to get a lot of those defensive rebounds and offensive rebounds. And the Wonders really don't have someone to contest those.
Matheson to Del Tosso, shot fake. Draws the closeout. Shot short. She screams after it, but can't keep it in bounds.
I believe that's a substitution coming in for the Wheelcats. Number 7, Laura Gillies, coming back in. Not too sure who's coming off.
I think Georgia Inglis just made her way to the bench there. Just out of eye shot. Stevenson with the ball. The Wheelcats setting up a play. It's a lob to Merritt inside. Ball's poked away. Ball comes back. Finds its way to Merritt. She balances herself. Del Tosso with the ball, uses the Matheson screen and the Adams screen and converts for 2.
I think that's what the Wonders are going to have to do. They're going to have to rely on the players that they know are kind of their core lineup, minus Davoli, obviously, and really rely on what they can set up with those players.
Merritt this time cut off by Martin, but finds a pass inside. Beal's shots off. Matheson trying to push on transition. Bit of a multiple collision there at halfway. Matheson undeterred. Gets herself into the paint. Finds She. That shot's off. Gillis the rebound. Merritt barking instructions as she pushes down the floor. Uses the Stevenson screen. Looks at 3 with the game clock expiring for quarter time and bangs it home.
Yeah, fantastic shot, and I think that's really a showing of what's going to be the strong of the Wheelcats, is just the strength of Amber Merritt, the showmanship, and what she brings to that team. I mean, you saw as she hit that shot, her entire team getting up and getting behind that. I think that's what she brings to that team, as much as the skill that she brings, but also the team rallies around her, and that's a really valuable thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's with the shot clock with the game clock expiring like that, and Amber Merritt, the first part is being aware of it, and she certainly was, and it takes some of the planning out of it, where I know that I just have to launch it, and if it happens to go in off the glass, as that one did, all well and good. But what that does do is pushes the lead out to 7 points. A pretty high-scoring first quarter here, Campbell. 21 to the Wheelcats and just 14 to the Wonders.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, on the side of the Wheelcats, Amber Merritt coming away with 11 points already, so over half of their scoring opportunities. whereas the Wonders really relying on a few more of their players kind of spreading around those shots. Del Toso with 4, Matheson with 4, Martin with 2. So I think that shows exactly how both of these teams are going to have to play. The Wonders really knowing that they can spread around a little bit. Kim Hampton coming away with a few points as well, just on the fact that the Wheelcats weren't looking to her to score, weren't expecting her to score necessarily, whereas the Wonders will have to know that the Wheelcats are going to rely on Amber Merritt. She is the strong shooter, strong inside, tall shooter for the Wheelcats. They know they have to defend her, and it might even come down to a double team depending on how strong she gets.
Yeah, and certainly the last couple of possessions, finding her in transition has been a difficult assignment. We're fortunate here we're sitting on top of the Victoria Wonders timeout, just listening to Coach Jeremy Sinnott there. He's pretty calm in his messaging. And experience, naturally, Leanne Del Toso, just confirming a few of those instructions.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that a lot with the Wonders timeouts. They're very conversational. They know how much experience they have through several of their players, international experience. So they keep their cool pretty often, even in the games that they have lost a couple throughout the season. They remain calm and collected, and that's what they need to do.
Okay, so we see the Wheelcats back on the floor in the red uniforms noticeably. Amber Merritt taking a spell at the moment, potentially an opportunity for the Wonders to maybe eat into this lead. It's Matheson, drives in and out, cut off by Vinci, comes back again, cut off by Inglis, finds Del Toso, offensive rebound Del Toso, and the putback's good. I beg your pardon, Campbell. Kim Hampton there, of course. Almost a lookalike. Del Toso. Ball's back with Perth. Georgia Inglis. Guarded by Matheson. Looks inside. Finds Gillis. Ball's deflected out of bounds. Back to the Wonders.
And again, that is just a little bit of a different play style when Amber Merritt's not on. The Wheelcats just look a little bit more uncollected and kind of playing by themselves. Obviously, they're a very strong team, a lot of experience outside of Amber Merritt, but she does kind of shore up that play style and their personality as well.
Early stages, second quarter, Matheson drives baseline. Some movement on that screen, I think. No. In fact, the offensive foul assessed against Shelley Matheson.
I think she wasn't too happy with that one. I think a little bit of confusion as to what that call was.
Isabel Martin done a great job of jamming up a couple of chairs there to create a laneway.
Stop the ball! Stop the ball! Stop the ball! Good job, Dawes!
Inglis cut off by Del Toso. Ball gets back around to Alexander.
Second!
You can hear in the background, Victorian coaching staff concerned about the potential 3-second call. The shot's up. Deflected off Matheson. The ball will stay with Perth.
And you might have been able to hear in the background Coach Jeremy Sinnott just yelling, stop the ball consistently. That's all the Wonders need to do is stop the ball.
Just the 1 second here now. It'll have to be a catch and shoot situation. Ball cut off by Hampton. Isabel Martin, picked up by Inglis. Looks at the lob pass. Matheson's good enough to reel that in. Goes baseline, finds Del Toso. Her layup's off. Laura Gillis, the rebound. Inglis pushes ahead to Vinci. Back to Alexander. Back to Inglis. Vinci. Nice little manoeuvre to find her way free. Her layup's off. Del Toso, the rebound. Gillis trying desperately to stop her, but the ball's projected ahead. Matheson up on one wheel there. Finds Hampton. Her shot's off. A streaking Del Toso found her way between 2 or 3 chairs there, was fouled and made the basket.
I think that's what the Wonders have found a couple times here already. They've found a way to find one player that just can kind of slide through the defense. The defense getting a little bit chaotic and not being able to cover everyone quite quick enough.
Del Tosso's bonus free throw is good. The margin's back to 2. Still no merit for the Wheelcats.
I think that the score coming this close is kind of telling of that substitution having merit off. Obviously, if you know you want to push her for a while, she needs to have her rest, but it's a dangerous thing.
Natalie Alexander running the point there, unguarded. Found that lefty mid-range shot. Nothing but net. Margin back to 4. She's got a technical issue in the backcourt. Head referee Nick Tomasic stopping the play there. And 19 seconds on the 24-second clock for the Wonders. Del Tosso runs a handoff with Matheson. She uses the Caldwell screen, kicks it back. Caldwell rolls, pass deflected. Inglis with the ball for Perth. Kicks ahead to Stevenson. She looks around, finds Gillis. Ball back to Inglis. Matheson checking her. Leanne Del Tosso collects her first foul. Ball's in, Gillis. The bank 3 from Inglis is off. Isabel Martin pushing. Matheson had streaked into the front court. She's cut off by Inglis. Takes a dribble. Uses the Caldwell screen. Pushed right out to the corner of the court. Comes back around on the left. Shot clock running down. Del Tosso's mid-range shot is excellent.
I think that's an absolutely fantastic shot from the Wonders, but I think it's really important to note that the Wheelcats were able to pressure them into taking that shot by the high press.
Gillis just wasn't picked up in transition there. Great long pass from Georgia Inglis, and she's able to make the simple shot. Just under 6 minutes remaining this second quarter, this round 5, the final round. Women's National Basketball League, coming to you from the State Basketball Centre. Brought to you by the Beluga Foundation and Wheelchair Basketball Australia. As Harriet Caldwell makes a lovely cut through the paint, collects the pass, and is fouled in the shooting motion. Isabel Martin heads to the bench for the Wonders. In fact, it's a timeout. The timeout to the Wonders. Midway through the second quarter, it's the Wonders 21, trailing the Wheelcats 25.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting position for the Wonders to be in. Obviously, they're trailing a little bit, have struggled a little bit on the defensive end, especially when Merritt was on. And they've kind of shored up that defense a little bit and been able to recover a little bit. But I like that they're looking towards players like Harriet Caldwell to get those inside shots and kind of cover what Davoli would have done previously and has done previously when she was here for the Wonders in the league. And the Wheelcats, I really like that high press that they've been playing. I think the Wonders kind of struggle with that. Their communication is just a little bit lacking. And even if they get it across the half, they're losing a lot of time. They've been pressured into a few shots that have been really hard to make. They have made a few of them, granted. Leanne Del Tosso with that fantastic outside shot. But I think that's what the Wheelcats need to do, is kind of get under the skin of the Wonders, put them under a little bit of pressure, and see if they can find the cracks.
Well, they managed to hang on to most of that lead that they had at quarter time without Amber Merritt. Quite a long spell for her, 4 and a bit minutes. She's back on the floor now in 15 in the red uniform, as Caldwell makes the first of her 2 free throws. It's the Victoria Wonders in the navy blue uniform. They're the home team here at the State Basketball Centre in Melbourne. Both the free throws are good. Just the 2-point margin in favour of the Wheelcats. Georgia Inglis pushes the ball down the floor. That long shot's off. Offensive rebound, Alexander. Ball tipped away by Del Tosso. Matheson desperately trying to keep that in bounds. Manages to get it back. Hampton, the long pass was on, just not enough oomph on that. Ball back to Perth. Ebony Stevenson's cut off by Matheson. She sees Merritt inside, wide open.
Again, Merritt, just the composure, get into her position and wait for that pass to come in. She was essentially looking up as the pass was already coming in. She knew exactly where it was going to be.
Yeah, she's so high in her chair, and those telescopic arms when they're up to the sky, really almost an impossible situation if we see an over and back violation. That's simply meaning that when a team has the ball, once they've progressed across halfway, they can't come back. The Wheelcats setting up a press there at halfway and forcing Victoria into the backcourt.
Shelley Matheson unlucky there. She just rolled a little bit back from the contact, and that was all it took.
And Campbell, it's any part of the wheel when we're talking either an out-of-bounds situation or the halfway line like that?
Absolutely, and any part of the wheel is considered part of the body. So the entire chair is considered part of the body, so any part going over that line will be out of court.
Matheson there, you could hear Coach Jeremy Sinnott saying to take Sarah Vinci on. Vinci did a fantastic job to stay in front of her. Shot clock running down, under 5. As you can hear the bench in the background. Matheson will have to put this one up. Doesn't draw any iron. Merritt's there for the rebound. Off to Alexander. Merritt streaking ahead, picked up by Del Tosso. Alexander with that lovely left-hand pass. Inglis, the layup.
I think that's a fantastic showing of what the Wheelcats like to do. They back 2 players, streak forward. You could hear them yelling 2 out. And that back pick being exactly what they needed, and Inglis able to roll straight through the middle.
Still Tosso for the Wonders. It's cut off. Looks inside. Hampton. Lovely pass there. Finds Caldwell. She's able to convert.
This is exactly what I want to see from the Wonders. Harriet Caldwell really showing she's a very young player, relatively new to the league, but showing that she has a lot of strength and a lot of composure as well.
As Merritt reels that in with one hand, Inglis continues her cut baseline. Her shot short. Merritt had hold of it, lost it. Matheson making sure that everybody knows she's not giving that rebound up. The hook pass ahead. Hampton. Caldwell trying to set a screen there. Matheson made a cut, almost a blind cut. She's got hold of the ball, double teamed there now. Shot clock running down. A little bit of trouble. She's going to have to go the hook shot. And it was all air.
Again, the Wheelcats, that really aggressive defensive pressure, I think that's exactly what they're going to have to run the entire time. We'll see if they have the energy for it. Obviously, they don't have as deeper bench, but they're rotating their subs quite often to get those rests in.
As Melanie Adams heads to the bench for the Wonders. Isabel Martin back on in 22. The low pointer. Georgia Inglis, speaking of Sames, cut off. Finds the long arm of Merritt. She's off, surprisingly, but so tall there to be able to get the offensive rebound almost uncontested.
And that's the difficult thing. Once you put her in that position, there's almost no one on the Wonders that can contest her.
Matheson cut off, found Del Tosso, but she's fouled. Neither team in any particular foul trouble in the second quarter. It's the third for Perth. The Wonders sitting on 2 team fouls. As Georgina Gott comes on for the Wheelcats in 10. And a substitution for the Wonders as well. Kia Charles in for the first time tonight in number 6 for the Wonders. They're in the navy blue uniform. It's the Wheelcats from Perth in the red, leading by 6, 31-25. Just a couple of minutes remaining in this second quarter. This final round action from the State Basketball League of the Women's Wheelchair National Basketball League. It's Shelley Matheson with a lovely skip pass. Shot short from Del Tosso. Offensive rebound and Margin back to 4. Georgia Inglis in 12 for the Wheelcats. Looks inside. There's the long arm of Merritt again. She calmly sneaks that up over the front of the rim.
I think they're going to have to play something a little bit more aggressive to stop Amber Merritt. Once she gets in that position, you are not stopping her from scoring. She will hit those shots every day of the week. So you've got to look at holding her a little bit higher.
So you're suggesting committing a defender in the backcourt to stop her progress on transition?
Whether in the backcourt or just over the half, just to have that little bit of defensive pressure as well.
As Isabel Martin takes a tumble there out of her chair. The officials are naturally stopping the game. A reasonably common occurrence at this level of wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, for anyone that's not too experienced with the league or with the game in general, players do fall out. It's a high contact sport. Players definitely fall out like this. The play will stop just to let them get back up, because sometimes it's a difficult thing to get back up. Some players can get themselves back up, and it's an impressive thing to watch. But they will just stop for the safety of everyone.
I think that gentleman in the green sweater is probably well known to everybody, coming out to lend Isabel Martin a hand there. This is the second of 2 timeouts for the Wonders. They're still being held at bay by that 6-point margin with just 70 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
And it's worth noting that that foul on Sarah Vinci just before is her 3rd personal. So team's not getting into too much foul trouble as a team, but Sarah Vinci being a very important person on the side of the Wheelcats, that could be a dangerous thing if she collects even one more. That puts her in a really difficult position.
A little bit of manoeuvring required for head coach Michelle Swain. It's the officials encouraging the players to wrap up their timeout. It's always a thankless job of the officials to ensure that a timeout only runs for 60 seconds. It's the ball's inbounded to Perth, for Perth. Stevenson to Inglis. Merritt attempts to set a screen. This time a different cutter inside. Ebony Stevenson snuck around the back, made the layup.
And from my position, you could actually hear Coach Stennett saying, "We're okay with that. We'll allow her to shoot, as long as we're not letting Amber Merritt get in the key and take those shots." It's a lower percentage shot, and that's exactly what they're going to have to try and force. The Wonders knowing they might not be able to stop everyone from getting in the key, but deciding who they'll let in.
Del Tosso with the ball, just 48 seconds remaining. A couple of possessions potentially for Victoria here. Trailing by 8. Matheson cut off. Looks inside. Pass flies by Gott's ear. In fact, it was Charles's ear there, yeah. Having made a cut. Just 30 seconds remaining. A couple of substitutes coming in here. In 25, it's Safi Orr, one of the extremely young members of the Wonders. And Melanie Adams in 37 also going to roll in for these last 30 seconds of the second quarter. A little bit of confusion there.
A little bit of confusion. Isabel Martin thinking she was being subbed off, but she'll remain on.
Ball's into Del Tosso. Across to Matheson. Uses the Martin screen, drives baseline, looks at the glass. It's good.
That's what happens when you have 2 very experienced Paralympic players. That very clean play and set up that very easy shot for Matheson.
Merritt again inside. That shot short. Might have been deflected by Del Tosso. Great job defensively. Shot clock running down. Will Isabel Martin get there before No, she won't.
I think that's a very difficult position to put her in. Not only to be chasing down that pass, but also to think about getting the shot up as well.
Difficult for the Wonders there, getting the ball back with just 3 or 4 seconds remaining. Having to force something extraordinarily difficult. But that's half-time. It's the Perth Wheelcats 35 leading the Victoria Wonders 29. And Campbell, we mentioned the ladder before. Should Perth win tonight, this being the first of 3 games in this series, that would put them both in a tie for second at 8 and 4. And if the Lions from Sydney Uni have still got 3 games to come this weekend.
Yeah, it's a really interesting position that you don't see too often in a league like this, where all of the teams in that kind of middle of the pack could shoot up to that second position. The Wonders are in that second position at the moment, but they really have to hold on with these games. If they can come away with even 2 of them, they'll hold on to that position most likely. And obviously it will also depend on the other games going on.
And you mentioned the other games. We've got 2 extra games that you can watch live streaming this weekend on tomorrow, Saturday at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's from Parramatta Stadium, the Sydney Blues, who've been dominant this year in the league, sitting on top of the ladder and unlikely to be challenged there to finish first. They're in 11 and 1. They'll take on the Adelaide Thunder. And early start on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. from Sydney University. It's the Sydney University Lions, who are sitting in 3rd spot at the moment, taking on the Rollers from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, and you'd expect Sydney to come away with that game against the team from Queensland, so that will give them a relatively comfortable position in probably that 3rd spot. But again, it is kind of between these teams where 2, 3, and 4 end up.
Right, well, we'll take a short break as the players do for half-time here. We'll be back with the action just before the start of the second half. why they've got a break before the... And welcome back here. Just a couple of minutes remaining till the second half gets underway. It's round 5, the final round action. The first of 3 games this weekend between the home Victoria Wonders and the visiting Perth Wheelcats. These two teams locked in a battle for second or third position, potentially the winners, depending on what happens at Sydney University this weekend. And at the moment, it's the Wheelcats, courtesy of the inimitable Amber Merritt, just appearing in the paint. She's converted so many close shots, Campbell, and it's really a question for the Wonders of how can they limit her impact on the game.
Yeah, well, I think that's a majority of what they've been talking about in their huddles consistently. You've seen Coach Sinnott saying it's fine if other people shoot. Ebony Stevenson had a couple shots inside and got a couple scores, but they're okay with that if it's not Merritt, where Merritt will consistently hit those shots. Other players might miss occasionally, so you're looking at what's your second alternative or what's the next best thing, rather than letting Amber Merritt shoot those points and just get away with that lead.
Yeah, because the Wonders ticking over pretty reasonably. I would have thought if they'd said we'll have 29 at half time, they'd be reasonably happy.
Yeah, well, you would think that this is a position that they'd be pretty happy to be in, especially considering how other games have gone. They've kept the score pretty low in other games, but obviously the power of Merritt and a couple other players. Obviously, Merritt shooting 66%, 8 from 12, but also Ebony Stevenson again being that one who the Wonders are saying maybe we'll just let her shoot, is at 75%. So I think you've got to find a different way to kind of control that. I liked when they were playing a bit more of a press, when the Wonders were kind of contesting the ball from the inbound, forcing the Wheelcats to make a few long passes. The same thing that the Wheelcats have done to the Wonders, where they've played them up the court the entire time, really wasted that time and forced them to put up difficult shots.
Yeah, certainly some tactical nuance required here for the Wonders to try and combat Merritt. But as we saw in the second quarter, Campbell, as the Wheelcats in the red uniforms come onto the floor, there is no Amber Merritt at the moment. But I'm sure that'll change. It's the home Victoria Wonders trailing by 6 in the navy blue uniforms as we're underway. Third quarter action from the State Basketball Centre. It's round 5 of the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League, brought to you by Wheelchair Basketball Australia and the Beluga Foundation, as Alexander again with that sweet left-hand touch.
Yeah, and that's really good to see from the Wheelcats, getting a shot like that and getting it to go without Amber Merritt on the court, and it really not even looking that difficult for the Wheelcats.
Shelley Matheson drives down. It's picked up by Georgia Inglis. Big smile on her face. Finds Del Tosso on the left-hand wing. She uses Caldwell's screen. Shot clock's running down. Del Tosso can't quite get enough force into that shot, and it's an air ball and the shot clock expires.
It's been a difficult thing for the Wonders this entire game, trying to get someone inside the key. They haven't been able to make too many of those plays happen. They're really relying on those outside shots, so they've got to be able to set up something to get those outside shots and kind of pressure that inside, just so that they can get an outside shot to go.
So the ball's flicked inside. Stevenson, fantastic catch there, and the ball sat on the rim for a second, but fell in. The margin is all of a sudden out to 10. Del Tosso to Matheson. Matheson, Del Tosso, give and go. Lay up like a training drill.
Yeah, and the Wheelcats just kind of falling asleep at the wheel there, just leaving the key wide open. Del Tosso being able to roll straight through and not think about it too much.
I think there was a hint of a screen that they thought was going to happen that didn't actually happen. So ball's back to Natalie Alexander. Her shot is soft, but bobbles off the rim. Leanne Del Tosso the rebound. Pushes Isabel Martin, looking to run a bit of cross-screen action. Del Tosso wheels back around, finds Matheson. Matheson looks inside, takes a dribble, kicks back to Isabel Martin. Can't quite get hold of that. Caldwell has to launch a shot. It looked good. Found the back of the rim. Isabel Martin sneaks in to get the offensive rebound. Finds Del Tosso. She repositions herself. Be disappointed that one's hit the underside of the rim as Georgia Inglis streaks away for the Wheelcats. She's cut off by Matheson. Matheson again appears. Ball kicks back to Alexander. Her shot's off, but a 3-second violation identified by the official. And the ball will go back to Victoria.
Yeah, and we've had that once or twice already in this game. Players just getting into the key and just waiting for those passes to come in that just come a little bit late. Both teams kind of needing to look up a little bit faster and be ready to make those passes.
The Wonders turned it over there in the middle of the paint. Gillies with that steal. Inglis with the ball now. Looks inside. Finds Stevenson. An extra pass. Lovely stuff. Gillies with that 2-point shot. Del Tosso inbounds. Gets it back from Martin. Pushes ahead. Perth content to go back into a very deep half-court defence. Matheson gets past Beale. Her shot short, but Inglis with the rebound. It's the Perth Wheelcats with the ball, 41. Victoria Wonders 31. Early stages, third quarter. Natalie Alexander with the bank shots off. Isabel Martin gets the rebounds, poked away by Alexander. As the Wonders call for a timeout. Coach Sinner, a little agitated there, Campbell.
Yeah, I think this is a rough position for the Wonders to be in. They're kind of not getting those shots to go, not able to get those inside looks that they've wanted. Obviously, we had that one where Leanne Del Tosso able to roll just straight through. Both the Wheelcats really recognizing that very quickly and shoring up their defense. And the defense on the side of the Wonders just not quite being enough for the Wheelcats to stop the Wheelcats, rather, including the fact that Amber Merritt was off that entire time. And I think that's probably why they've called this, just because they're recognizing that they're not playing their strongest player currently. In fact, she's got a warm-up top on. She might be ready to take at least this quarter.
I wonder if it's a case of possible experimentation by Perth with a view to the finals, about trying to look at ways where Merritt will be heavily targeted defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that they've obviously worked on throughout the season, not relying on her completely, and being able to get a lot of scoring coming through other players. Obviously, we've seen Ebony Stevenson be very, very valuable. Beale also coming away with a couple points. Alexander coming away with a few points. So there's really no one that the Wonders can risk not defending, which shows that if then the Wheelcats are able to sub Amber Merritt back on, then that puts them in an even more difficult position on the side of the Wonders.
It's quite the game of chess as Shelley Matheson looks inside, finds Del Tosso. Just a set play there with the back screen.
Yeah, and that's what we know that the Wonders like. They like their set-up defenses and offenses, getting those quick passes and finding a way to get Del Tosso inside. She's the tallest player that they have and most consistent inside the key.
As Inglis with the ball for the Wheelcats, guarded by Charles, cut off. Thinks she's found an angle. Isabel Martin appears. Long arm of Ebony Stevenson, gets that offensive rebound. Her shot's deflected away. Del Tosso kicks to Matheson. Charles running the right lane. Matheson looks, thinks better of that pass. Wheels back around to her left. Screen from Caldwell. Isabel Martin inside. Her shot's a little short. Defensive rebound, Beale for the Wheelcats. Stevenson, ponytail flapping, pushes ahead, finds Inglis. She finds Beale. Beale's shot just a fraction short. Offensive rebound, Gillies. Del Tosso, the defensive rebound. Matheson screaming instructions, looking for runners in the lane. Isabel Martin, a great screen. Almost frees her up. Caldwell comes and sets another screen. Matheson probing as Leanne Del Tosso's temporarily out of her chair. Thinks that's pretty funny. She gets herself up.
I think that's a difficult position for her to be in. She was coming forward with a lot of speed, kind of leaned forward a little bit, maybe leaned forward a little bit too much as that just a little bit of contact came in. She just comes forward.
As we see Sarah Vinci in 4 and Amber Merritt in 15 come back onto the floor for the Wheelcats. They're in the red uniforms. We're here at the State Basketball Centre in Melbourne. Shelley Matheson, shot clock running down on the left-hand side. Looks inside, Caldwell. It's a little late. Shot was good, but...
And that's what we've seen a couple times with the 3 in the key calls and also shot clock calls like that, where those passes just taking a little bit too long to get there, just kind of thinking about the options too much, and maybe you need to accept that your first thought is the best thought and go with it.
Georgia Inglis looks inside. Vinci uses a screen, makes a cut, gets the pass and makes the layup. So simple.
Again, Merritt being on court, and she's not even the one to score yet. So it's exciting to see the Wheelcats relying on other players, other scorers who you might not expect as much as Merritt, and really showing that they're lacking nothing.
She does have that tremendous gravity, but on offense, it's a player and a half, maybe 2 players. Always aware of where she is, creates some cutting lanes for others. As the ball's bobbled out of bounds by the Wonders. They're down by 10 again. This is the biggest margin we've seen in the game to date. But a troubling one for the home team. It's Georgia Inglis smiling wildly. It's cut off. Sarah Vinci, a lovely 1-2 with Amber Merritt there. Touch pass from Merritt was exquisite.
Vinci getting a few points just by those easy baseline cuts when a couple of players look up, see Merritt kind of looking to get her way in, and Vinci just able to slide straight through.
Margin out to a game-high 12. Fantastic finish there from Kia Charles, and a nice passing exchange.
And that's what you love to see on the side of the Wonders. They've really created a strong community in their team, and really rallying behind Kaya when she gets that shot.
Inglis looks at the mid-range with everybody going under those screens. Matheson, the defensive board, looking to push. Caldwell on the left lane, looks to be open. Beautiful pass from Matheson. Caldwell finds Del Tosso. Amber Merritt with the infraction there.
It was a smart decision from Harriet Caldwell to try and tap that pass through. Obviously, it was a little bit of a difficult pass to make, but smart decision knowing that she wasn't coming at the right angle, was coming a little bit too fast, and try and tap it towards her teammate.
It's a fantastic find on transition. You could almost follow Shelley Matheson's eyes. I think we're going to have some subs here now. The officials just checking with each other. And it will be Kate Shee in number 1 coming on for the Wonders, along with Melanie Adams in 37.
This is the value of the Wonders having a lot of players on the bench. They can rotate through their players and run different lineups, try and match what the Wheelcats are running.
Leanne Del Tosso's first free throw attempt is good. Margin back to 9. A tick under 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Final round action in Wheelchair Basketball Australia's Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League. Brought to you by the Beluga Foundation. Both these teams heading towards the finals in a few weeks' time at the last weekend in August from Narrabeen up in Sydney. As Georgia English's shots off, but the ever-present Amber Merritt and those telescopic arms. Her shots off. Martin the rebound off to Del Tosso. Matheson, ball in dispute. Martin scoops it up, but unfortunately it had taken the Wonders more than the allotted 8 seconds to get out of the backcourt.
No, that was almost lucky on the side of the Wheelcats that they didn't fully recover that ball. It was kind of just rolling around on the ground, and if they had managed to collect it even for a second, that shot clock would have reset.
Yeah, it was a little bit of confusion that helped them there as Amber Merritt cuts baseline, gets the pass from Inglis. Just that the height at which she's able to operate and get that shot off. Some fantastic wrist action. The elbow doesn't stray too far, but the wrist really empowers her ability to shoot the ball. It's fantastic backspin. It's almost a coach's delight from the shooting perspective as she makes the free throw to push the margin out to 11. It's the Wheelcats 48, the Wonders 37. Matheson to Del Tosso. Matheson cuts baseline. Del Tosso with her head in her hands there. That pass was on just a little too long.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of an unnecessary play to kind of look towards Matheson there. Obviously, it was going to be a difficult pass to make, and maybe needing to slow down that offense just a little bit and look for other options. I think they relied too much on that first run.
Georgia Inglis just not guarded at all. Isabel Martin is laughing about it. Might have been some confusion there from the Wonders, but she had little hesitation in making that 5-metre shot. Del Tosso is equally unguarded. The margin just hovering around that double-figure mark. It's at 11 at the moment. The Wheelcats. Georgia Inglis left open again. It gets to the free throw line and calmly makes another elevated shot.
Yeah, I think the Wheelcats having a few too many opportunities here where they're just being kind of left open to roll straight into those easy shots. Obviously, that free throw shot should be relatively comfortable for most players. That's one that you train pretty consistently. So allowing a player to just roll to that point and take that shot is a dangerous thing on defense.
Matheson tried to drive to the basket there, lost the ball. Wheelcats off and running. It's the good lady you don't want with the ball on transition. Merritt, she's off, unfortunately. Vinci, lovely second pass. Back to Merritt. The long arms come up. And she makes it at the third attempt.
Just collecting a few more rebounds to add to her stats there. I think she was in a pretty comfortable position knowing she'd be able to get those rebounds consistently.
Shelley Matheson pushes, but the margins that are really worrying, 15 now. Gets her way right into the basket. Can't make that go. Georgina Gott with the defensive rebound. Inglis pushing, just 10 seconds remaining in this third quarter. She's cut off, manages to get free, looks at three. Shot's a little long. Isabel Martin, the defensive rebound. Youngster Safi Orr comes on for another little bit of time at the end of the quarter. This is going to have to be a length of court shot, but I don't know if Shelley didn't realise there that how much time is remaining, just a couple of seconds, or just accepted her fate.
I think with the amount of experience that she has, she knows her range pretty well, and pretty happy not to put up that shot and risk looking a little bit silly. So
here we are, it's three-quarter time as both teams head to their respective benches, and the margin is ballooned, I'll say, out to 15. It's the Wheelcats 54, the Wonders 39. What can they do, Campbell? What can the Wonders do to try and turn the game on its head in this last quarter?
I think the Wonders have really got to shore up their defense. Obviously, their offense looks fine. They're able to get shots up. They're able to get consistent shots inside with Leanne Del Tosso finding options to get inside. But the Wheelcats are just finding options a little bit too easy on their offense. And the defense on the side of the Wonders just not quite fast enough, not kind of locking up and recognizing those options that the Wheelcats are going to take before they're there. Obviously, they know that Amber Merritt is going to be a difficult player to defend. They've done relatively well to cover her, actually. But the Wheelcats have shown up in several other players collecting points. Amber Merritt only 22 of the 54 points, where previously she was more than half of the points on the side of the Wheelcats. So they've really shored up their offense and collected points in various ways. So the Wonders have got to cover every single option.
So plenty to do. We're fortunate tonight, and the league is fortunate tonight, to be at the home of the Victoria Wonders, which is the magnificent State Basketball Centre out here in Wantirna, just outside of Melbourne. And if you're looking for more information on the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball, you can find them on Facebook at Wheelchair Basketball Australia, YouTube where you're watching now, on the website wba.net.au, and on Instagram, Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Plenty of interesting stories, information, statistics as the men and women's leagues wind their way down to the finals at the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre in the last weekend in August. So the Wonders underway, trying to turn around a 15-point deficit. Safi Orr, youngster with that shot there, a little short, but the Wonders have got the offensive rebound. Del Tosso finds Matheson. That shot's a little short. Stevenson, the rebound for the Wheelcats. Stevenson drives baselines, cut off. Kicks back to Alexander. She's really deadly from that range.
Yeah, she's shown a lot of strength in this game. Kind of, I think the Wonders not really expecting her to come out with this hot hand, and showing that she's really a scoring opportunity.
Del Tosso leans in, trying to create some contact and potential foul there. Back to Matheson. Inglis guarding her. Ball kicks back to Orr. Her shot's good, much to the delight of the crowd. Her unique green chair.
I think regardless of the score now, the Wonders can go away happy.
But the score says the Wheelcats 56, the Wonders 41. And the ball will stay with the Wheelcats in the red uniforms. Ebony Stevenson to inbound there. Ball's poked away. And in fact, the Wheelcats will turn it over. A little casual there from that baseline inbound.
Yeah, I think just not looking down and seeing where the baseline was.
Oh, as we see Isabel Martin take what looks like a nasty fall, but she's laughing about it. So I'm presuming she's okay. She'll just need a bit of a hand to pop up.
I think she might have even been laughing at Ebony Stevenson apologising immediately for that contact.
Plenty of support on hand there, including Wheelcats coach Michelle Swain. So the ball goes back to the Wheelcats. It's Vinci back to Inglis. She finds something very funny. Maybe somebody's told a joke out there. Wheels around, cuts middle. Vinci's rolled brilliantly. Completely confused the Wonders defence there. Margin out to 17. That's the Wonders head coach, Jeremy Sinnott. You can hear in the background as Leanne Del Tosso cuts middle. Her shot's a little off. A rebound, Gillies. She pushes ahead. Stevenson does expertly to find Georgia Inglis, whose layup is strangely a little long. Ball's out. Leanne Del Tosso off and rolling. Shelley Matheson trying to either set a screen or run a lane. She does the latter. Finger rolls it in.
You could see that that kind of silent communication between the two players, just looking at each other, knowing what they were going to do. That quick pass coming in, easy points.
It's Georgia Inglis with the ball. This time Isabel Martin's cut her off. Ebony Stevenson curls around, catches the pass, and banks the shot home.
There's a lot of communication on court between players, and I think between teams. There's all of these players knowing each other pretty well and playing nationally and internationally together. So a lot of good communication between them.
Certainly good camaraderie. Orr cuts baselines, cut off, finds Matheson, or the offensive rebound. Her shot's a little long. Vinci the rebound. Stevenson looking to break again. Back to English. She uses a beautiful screen from Stevenson to get away. Another screen from Vinci. Vinci rolls and is out of her chair, fouled. The officials saying that it was an attempted pass, not a shot. And the ball will revert to the baseline as Sarah waits there for some support. Takes a bit of leverage, I'd imagine, Campbell, to get up and out of those chairs, particularly for the low point players.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to be on your back and kind of lying there. The chairs are quite heavy, especially for low point players who generally are a bit smaller. So it's a lot of weight to try and pick up.
Georgia English's shot is off. Alexander the rebound. Paul spits back, another shot, another offensive rebound. Back to Stevenson. Surely this time, yes. Gillies with the offensive rebound and the putback, able to demonstrate some poise there. Margin just eking ever further out to 19 now. Wheelcats 62. Isabel Martin gets that pass, her shot short. Georgia Inglis the rebound. Holds Martin at bay. Manages to get in front of her, laughing all the while. Finds Vinci cutting brilliantly.
Vinci getting up to 8 points now. That's she's been a really valuable cutter for this team. The Wheelcats really finding options along those baselines with their low point players.
The Wonders noticeably trying to speed things up as the score gets away from them. Shelley Matheson shots off. Sarah Vinci the rebound. A fleet of substitutes awaiting their entry into the game as Georgia Inglis is fouled in the backcourt. Catherine Reid onto the floor in number 3. Her number just not quite visible on the back. You can see it clearly on the front. She wheels around to try and cut off Merritt. Merritt is triple team there. Accordingly, Georgia Inglis decides to launch a 3. She feigns a bit of surprise as that banks in.
I don't know. I don't even know if that was fake surprise. I think she was not necessarily expecting that to be so dead on as it was.
Her body language is so modest in almost everything she does, as Shelley Matheson just can't get it to go at the moment. Sarah Vinci, the defensive rebound, and Merritt is back on the floor. She's played sparingly tonight for somebody so talented. Vinci gets the pass from Merritt. Her shot's off. Matheson, the defensive rebound. Wheels away. Plenty of traffic at half court. Matheson keeps going. Merritt's got her in her sights. Forces her way out to the right. Corner of the court. Isabel Martin trying to set a series of screens. Matheson makes it fit.
And it's worth noting there, Isabel Martin being a little bit cautious. She is on 4 fouls at the moment, so collecting one more and she won't be able to play.
But there's just 4 minutes remaining and the margin sits at a monumental 22 as Sarah Vinci cuts middle, her shot's off. Or the rebound in dispute. Now Stevenson manages to poke it away. Inglis's shot is off. Vinci the rebound, back to Inglis. She makes that one. As we'll see, a timeout. This one looks to have gone, Campbell, tonight for the Home Wonders. They'll have 2 more opportunities this weekend, and they're crucial games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the point in the game where you start thinking about, okay, what can we do to shore up the other 2 games? What can we notice about how they're playing and how we're playing, rather than considering the scoreboard? I think at this point you have to accept 24 points. You're probably not going to be able to recover that. But what can we learn from this game and bring to the other 2 games? We know that the Wonders have done well in their other games. After having struggled in the first game, they come back a little bit stronger and are able to bring back that deficit a bit more.
Yeah, probably the statistics don't tell a huge tale, the raw statistics, but maybe the turnover numbers. At 3/4 time, the Wonders having 13 to just 4 for the Wheelcats, which is a surprisingly efficient number, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Wheelcats have done really well, especially not having Amber Merritt on as much, but also recognising that the Wonders don't have Laura DeVoli again. She's gone over to gone over to the States to play in the college system there, and I think that is something that you have to take into account when you're looking at the Wonders. They don't have one of their key players, one of their key scorers, as well as someone who just kind of shores up their team and brings them together the way that Amber Merritt does. She brings in that kind of personality and everyone kind of rallies around her. The same thing was true of Laura DeVolli when she was on court in previous games. She really brings that team together and they kind of work around her and work together with her.
Yeah, it's like having to try and rework a system. You mentioned anytime you take out a player like Laura DeVolli, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. She really was, even blowing her young age, the heartbeat of the side as the shot clock's running down on the Wonders. Now back to Matheson. She'll launch something at the buzzer. It'll bounce harmlessly away. There's a really good feeling on the court at the moment. Lots of, you'd think somebody was telling a series of jokes. There's that much laughing and smiling going on, but as you mentioned, all these players know each other pretty well.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see in a league like this. No bad blood, even with a game that's kind of ballooning out the lead at the moment. Just everyone happy to be on court and happy to be playing. It's such a good game.
Amber Merritt inside. Beautiful extra pass, but the officials are not having it. They're saying Sarah Vinci had been within the 3-second area for more than 3 seconds. Yeah, certainly the skill level, that number, just 4 turnovers for the Wheelcats, indicative of the sort of chemistry and synergy they have as Shelley Matheson launches a 3. Long rebound, Del Tosso. She looks at a long 2 and smoothly and efficiently makes it. Margin at 22. It's the Wonders 47, trailing the Wheelcats 69. Just 2.5 minutes remaining in this, the first of 3 clashes this weekend between these two teams to try and figure out the puzzle that will determine who will finish second in the league. As Amy Beale goes glass.
Again, the Wheelcats being able to score through just about anyone on their team, and showing the Wonders that they can't let anyone be free for even a matter of seconds.
Del Tosso drives baseline, comes back around, it's cut off, uses Orr's screen, finds Orr inside. She makes another 2 to the delight of the crowd.
That's exactly what the Wonders have been doing here in their spare time. They've been really rallying behind their newer players, kind of bring them into the league, getting a lot of experience through them. So it's a really good thing to see.
Ball goes baseline. I have no idea how Merritt reeled that one in. She manages to get the shot up. Ball's deflected. Matheson the rebound. Stevenson pretended to be going away, turned around and stole that one. English's shot's off. Matheson defensive rebound. She's looking for the transition. Del Tosso to Orr to Martin. She has a lane. Shot short. Inglis the defensive rebound. Just a minute remaining, a little over. It's Georgia Inglis probes, cut off by Shelley Matheson. Sarah Vinci with a screen. Ball back to the long arms of Merritt in the middle. She calmly makes 2.
And Amber Merritt just reminding the Wonders that she is there when the Wheelcats need her, and consistent, able to get those inside shots.
Both coaches diving deep into their bench. Or benches. Sammy Rolfe will come on for her first action tonight in 29 for the Wonders. The Wonders have the ball, trailing by 24. The sting's gone out of this one. But a high-skill game when it was in the balance in the first 3 quarters. Shelley Matheson, skip past, Del Tosso cuts baseline, efficiently makes the layup. The Wheelcats, one of the last few possessions of this match, they've been fantastic value for their 73 points tonight. Amber Merritt still on the floor on the left-hand side. Back to Alexander. She's cut off. Back to Merritt. Finds 2 defenders in front of her. Looks inside. Manages to find Georgina Gott. And while she was thinking about shooting, her 3 seconds expired. Matheson and Del Tosso played almost the entire game tonight for the Wonders. They exchange passes on the perimeter. Del Tosso looks to drive baselines, cut off by Vinci. Comes back to the middle, shot clock running down as the bench remind her. Has to roll backwards. Matheson with a experimental type hook shot. Sarah Vinci will probably hold this one up. Alexander looks at a long two. It's off. The ball rolls harmlessly away, and it's the Wheelcats who've been fantastic tonight. 73 points to the Wonders 51, and a really crucial game that ties these two teams on the ladder now.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic showing from the Wheelcats. I really, really like the way that they've shown the strength of their bench. Obviously, they've only come in with a few players to sit on their bench. They don't have a full 10, and that would be 5 sitting on the bench. But obviously, Emma Merritt coming in with quite a few points. She has 24 points by the end. But also Georgia Inglis coming in with 13, Natalie Alexander coming in with 10. So I think it's been really important for them to show that they do have other scoring options. They have players that they're happy to rely on and happy to put in those scoring positions. That the Wonders really weren't able to cover quite enough, weren't able to get their defense consolidated quick enough to cover all of those options. They were covering one or two. They get a couple turnovers, as you said, but not as many as you'd expect them to be able to cover and keep the Wheelcats down.
Yeah, you mentioned about the thing that we probably haven't mentioned tonight is the whole idea of coming on the road, travelling all the way from Perth for the 3 games. I think head coach Michelle Swain looks delighted out there, and understandably so, that she's looked at a lot of other scoring options. Amber Merritt played for her sparingly tonight, and really a super team effort. A lot of synergy there and some positive signs heading towards the finals.
Yeah, and as we said before, the attitude also just being really positive on court from both teams, even with the Wonders being down for most of that game. Just being positive and having good attitude, I think that's one of the huge benefits of the league that we have here, is just the positivity that players bring and that kind of community that they're developing as well.
Yeah, well, if anybody happens to be in Melbourne, 2 more games here this weekend between these two teams. But if you're watching, there's 2 more games you can watch live streaming this weekend. Tomorrow, Saturday, 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Time from Parramatta. It's the Sydney Blues taking on the Adelaide Thunder, streaming on this YouTube channel. And on Sunday, early one, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, it's the 3rd game from Sydney Uni between the Sydney Uni Lions and the Gold Coast Rollers. After this weekend, we'll know exactly what the finals picture looks like, but the top 4 teams will be taking part at the Northern Beaches Indoor Sports Centre on the last weekend in August. Until then, you've been watching the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League. My name's Brendan Painlow. I was joined by Campbell Fraser, and we look forward to seeing you the next time we're in action.